has repeatedly said that she is ready to answer the allegations of the fund misuse in what she describes as the proper forum. May punto si Yuse Castro, kung gusto daw ipaliwanag, bakit ba't ipa pinaliwanag noon? Ang dali-dali magpaliwanag. So, attorney, when and where will she answer?
Ma'am Karen, actually, right now we're already answering sa COA. No, in fact, there is a petition for review pending with the COA Commission proper. We feel that that is the proper forum to answer all these findings of COA. Since nanggaling naman sa COA yung findings nila on the OVP confidential funds, tama lang na dun din tayo sumagot.
Oo. So, ang nangyayari ngayon, lahat ng mga pinag-usapan noon sa Quadcom sa lower house na itinatanong kay Vice President noon, diretsahan yung sinasagot sa COA.
Opo, let me put that in context, Ma'am Karen. No? I think because hindi masyadong na-discuss kung ano ba yung findings ng COA. Actually, if you look at the findings of COA, whether it be from the Audit Observation Memorandum, which is the first issuance of their findings, all the way to the Notice of Disallowance. No? So, tatlo kasi yan eh. AOM, Notice of Suspension, and Notice of Disallowance. Walang nakasulat doon na merong korupsyon na nangyari or may binulsang pera. Ang nakasulat doon is may mga kakulangan sa mga dokumentong na-submit. That's why they're asking the Office of the Vice President to submit more documentation para makita talaga na maayos yung paggasta ng pera. And that's what we're responding to. Yung lumabas naman po doon sa mga investigasyon sa House, yan yung mga bagay na I think isinama nila doon sa articles of impeachment. So yung mga bagay na yon will have to wait for its proper venue, its proper time para masagot po natin. At least that's just to give proper context doon sa mga nangyari. Kasi ayaw naman nating misleading na sabihin natin na lahat ng lumabas doon sa investigation sinasagot sa COA. Ang sinasagot po natin sa COA ay yung mismong mga findings ng COA on certain documentation that they feel are still incomplete. And that's what we're trying to argue before the commission proper.
Okay, so it's just incompletion. What about the findings in the Quadcom, questions on confidential funds allegedly given to people with strange names or did not exist with the Philippine Statistics Office, walang record sa PSA. Tulad nung Mary Grace Piatos, kumbaga mga pagkain ang nasa resibo nung mga allegedly tumanggap ng confidential funds. Sinasagot niyo po ba yun, sir?
Just let me again premise my answer. So whatever I will say, obviously, it's from the perspective of the lawyer of the Vice President. So we're advocating her defense here. Pagdating po doon sa mga findings na sinasabi ng komite, katulad ng mga names na yan po ay hindi pa nakasama doon sa COA. Of course, if COA asks us as an additional question doon sa mga findings sila, we will gladly respond. Pero pagdating dito pero categorically, syempre kailangan natin sabihin na yung mga bagay na yan, wala kasi yan sa findings ng COA because as we've always maintained, yung paggamit nitong mga ng confidential funds, kasama na rin yung mga nasasabi natin na names of recipients, etc., are still all in compliance with existing rules, whether it be with the joint circular or rules of the intelligence community in terms of the usage or disbursement of confidential funds. But admittedly, hindi pa yan napag-uusapan. Perhaps kung dito sa impeachment, dahil kasama siya sa articles of impeachment, baka mapag-usapan. But let me just address yung nasabi kanina na bakit noong budget hearings hindi nasasagot. No? We have to also understand that confidential funds, obviously by the nature of the funds themselves, they pertain to confidential or intelligence operations na may mga safeguards kasi yan. Hindi naman basta-basta pwede lang isa-publiko yung mga bagay na yan as an aspect of national security, but also for the protection of informants, etc. That's why there are reasons kung bakit hindi pwedeng bigla-bigla lang nating dinidisclose yung mga bagay na yan.
So, Attorney Poa, do the rules allow in the use of confidential funds, because you said that the disbursement was in accordance to the rules, do the rules allow hypothetically the change of names or to make up names of informants, sources, certain individuals used for these purposes? Halimbawa, yung Mary Grace Piatos, do the rules allow na baguhin at inbentuhin ang pangalan ng recipient for protection purposes or security purposes?
Okay, Ma'am Karen, it's very difficult for me to answer this question because it will preempt, and I hope you understand, no, it will preempt our defenses. But let me just answer it this way. I think I watched one of the clips when Senator Zubiri was actually on your show, and he did mention that the use of aliases is actually a practice, no, in the intelligence community. However, I am saying that without preempting our defenses because we are not here to state yet kung aliases man yon, kung alias man, kung tama man yan, because I think these things will be presented better, no, before either a court of law or before the impeachment court. So again, I really apologize. No, it's not that I don't want to answer you directly. It's just that we really don't want to preempt our defenses, and that's also why it was strategic for us not to really take interviews from February all the way to just a few weeks ago before the Supreme Court decision came out, because yun lang, no, we don't really want to preempt our defenses and make this into a trial by publicity.
Okay. All right. Point taken. And you did reveal something with the speech of Senator Miguel Zubiri, wherein you said that he said that aliases were common usage. So at least that's a window into a part of your defense. But you said you didn't want to preempt, right, the defense. But where else will you answer? What do you think? There are no cases filed against her in the court of law. The impeachment has been archived at this point. All the Supreme Court is asking right now is for you to submit a comment based on the appeal of the House of Representatives, which have nothing to do with the defense of the merits of the case.
Yes, that's correct, and that's why actually in the previous interviews that I've had, it was a common question if we feel vindicated or we feel victorious, and I'll just jump off from that point. And I've always said, I don't think vindication or victory is really the proper term right now, because when we talk about vindication, then we're discussing the merits. Admittedly, wala pa tayo dun. But in terms of how do we now respond to these issues? On the contrary, there are actually cases filed against the Vice President, maybe not necessarily on the confidential funds just yet, but then we have, for example, yung grave threat na nasa Article 1 ng Articles of Impeachment. That's where there was a complaint filed before the DOJ. In fact, I'm also counsel for that, and that's why we have already been submitting our pleadings before the DOJ, including...
Attorney Powell, okay. Continue your...
Sorry.
You were saying that because your video froze and we lost you.
I'm sorry about that.
All right.
Internet problem.
Go ahead. You were saying that essentially with the first article of impeachment, there is a case filed against her.
Yes, before the DOJ, there's a complaint filed against her. It's undergoing preliminary investigation right now, and we have been responding to that. Secondly, let's not forget that there's also a case before the Ombudsman. And that's precisely based on the findings of the Committee of Good Government, or the House Committee on Good Government. And that was actually, they submitted their committee report to the Ombudsman, and the Ombudsman has already issued an order for all of the named respondents to submit their respective counter affidavits. We're talking about criminal liability as well as administrative liability, and partly kasama dyan yung confidential funds. So that's probably a proper forum also to address the issue. And then lastly, as we all know, the Supreme Court decision really talks about the one-year bar, which means that by February 6, 2026, if in case the Supreme Court does not reverse its ruling, again, there is a big possibility, maybe even a high probability, that a second round of impeachment complaints will be filed. So that's why tayo sa defense team, we hindi pa tayo natatapos, no? We still, our preparations are still ongoing because again, there's that high probability na magkakaroon ng second impeachment.
Okay, but what do you make of the Supreme Court decision? You have the Philcons saying that the Supreme Court has overstepped. They've gifted themselves with extra powers. In effect, they've added requirements to the impeachment that are not stated in the Constitution itself. So if another impeachment complaint is filed against the Vice President in February, how do you see this changing? What difference would there be now, Attorney?
Well, because it has always been our position, and again, I have to clarify that it's because when I say something, kasi ang problema ngayon, ang daming kumukomento, ang daming opinion, and sometimes the way it's said, it's like it's a matter of fact. No? But we respect all opinions. I want to make that clear. Whether it's aligned, their opinions are aligned with our position or not, we have to respect them. That's the beauty of democracy. And we even listen and try to hear out those opinions. Pero pagdating dito sa Supreme Court ruling, from the get-go, it was always the position of the defense that the fourth impeachment complaint, which was transmitted eventually as the articles of impeachment, is in fact void because it is unconstitutional. That was always our position. That's why we filed the Supreme Court petition. Now, in terms of
And
judicial...
on what basis, just for our audience,
Yes.
on what basis did the defense believe that the fourth complaint was unconstitutional? Because actually, interestingly, I actually have a copy of the petition that you filed in the
Yes.
Supreme Court. But for our audience, please state why the defense believed that the fourth was unconstitutional, which, by the way, the fourth was the one signed by Congressman Sandro Marcos, right?
Yes.
First, he was the first one to sign that. That was the one signed by a majority of the House members, and that was the one that was transmitted to the Senate. Go on.
Yes, on the basis of the one-year bar. Yun talaga yung basis natin because we believe that there was a grave abuse of discretion on the part of the House when it held on to the first, second, and third complaints which were filed way back December 2024. And under its rules, those complaints had to be transmitted immediately to the Speaker. Ang pakiramdam pa lang namin noon is there was already grave abuse of discretion there because it was a deliberate act of really holding on and freezing those impeachment complaints kaya hindi na transmit kaagad. And we feel that actually because there was grave abuse of discretion on the part of the House, that triggered the one-year bar. It's just, of course, I'm simplifying the arguments that we made. But basically, ang argument talaga natin is the fourth complaint has been barred because of grave abuse of discretion on the part of the House.
Okay, but the Supreme Court decision, didn't it say that the House actually followed the transmittal within the 10 days? The order of business within the 10 session days from the time it was endorsed. The Supreme Court did state that they followed that with the 3 complaints, correct?
Correct, but the Supreme Court also said that there was in fact grave abuse of discretion because the act of the Secretary General in transmitting immediately yung mga complaints to the Speaker was not subject to his or her discretion. Basically, it was ministerial. He just basically had to transmit them, which he did not. And then the act of also archiving those complaints triggered the one-year bar. Yun yung mga But again, Ma'am Karen, I hope you...
Parang ang sinasabi niyo po ba, in effect, para maintindihan ng nanunood, is ang ginawa ng lower house, namili sila ng complaint.
Yes. And,
Parang gano'n, namili sila.
to cut
Pinili
it short,
sila yung
yes,
pinaapat.
namili.
Oo, parang gano'n.
Yes, to cut it short. But again, ang hirap sa amin. That's why it's so difficult for me to answer at this point. It's not because I don't want to answer or because ayoko nang magmukhang I don't answer you directly. But what's very difficult for us is because this is precisely the subject of the motion for reconsideration and will be precisely the content of our comment also that we are now finalizing. And that's why ang hirap to discuss all these legal issues openly at this point because syempre ayaw nating not just preempt but also ilabas na natin to sa public and try to influence one or the other how the public views this, which will affect of course the justices who will also be resolving this motion for reconsideration.
Okay. Now, Attorney Poa, I think, I guess, how is the Vice President? How is she?
Well, she's trabaho lang talaga siya. The Vice President, even when I was in DepEd with her, she really has a way of compartmentalizing things. So regardless of all the issues na binabato left and right, trabaho lang talaga siya. Now, in terms of because it's always being asked, yung bloodbath and all that, maybe from my perspective as one of her lawyers, she was always direct with us during the preparations leading up to the situation we're in now. She was always consistent also in telling us that she was really ready to go through trial, to really face all the accusers and these allegations. And sa amin naman, as I've mentioned before, iba kasi yung, let's not confuse yung readiness to face these allegations with the willingness to be subjected to an unconstitutional process to begin with. And that's why on the part of the defense, we really saw it fit, despite her demeanor and her disposition that she's ready to face trial, we still saw it fit to file this petition just to, question really what happened and what we feel it was an unconstitutional way of initiating this impeachment. And it's not only for the Vice President, it really works for all impeachable officers in the future.
All right. On that note,